Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dead Space 2. Now, more than likely this is going to be the last episode. We have gone through a machine that has activated our connection with the marker code in our brain. We stuck a needle in the eye to do that. Now we're getting chased by a necromorph that I think is the same one from the first game that just will not die. I believe I may very well have to just bring him over here, do something like this, run over here, and activate this. And that's not good enough, clearly. So he's still regenerating. Now, so I've got to do this really fast. And I guess you don't want him to regenerate. You probably just want to get him here and have him crawl. I don't know if this is getting easier or what, but I need out. I need out. I have no health, and I have nothing. Getting items right now is probably not important.
This evacuation is illegal. You know that. Don't you dare tell me what I can and cannot do on my own station. My grandfather was running this place long before you were crapping your diapers, young man.
Oh yeah,
From you, and you know I'm right. Project protocol specifically forbids evacuation in the event of a breach. I have spent my whole life in service.
The marker is about to explode.
Now get to your shuttle. We can argue about this nonsense in court, assuming we both live to discuss your precious protocol. Very well, sir.
Now that's not the guy, so I can kill that one. Right now though, we're kind of in a rush mode, so I'm not sure it's really necessary to like I need to find a body. It says use kinesis to pick up limbs and launch them back at impale enemies. Alright. Okay. So I'm trying to get this guy. And I did not play that well. I need this guy, and I need his body over there. Come on, hit that stupid canister. Where did his body go? There it is. And I'm just gonna go and save, like, so I don't have to go through that section. We've hit a point where the difficulty sections are too high, in my opinion. I'm just gonna save in the last save slot from now on. We're trying to run here. Like, this is not really a game section that matters too much. Maybe that guy was there specifically to give me some help. Was he actually programmed in a way to tell me don't bother going? Was he programmed in a way to not attack me ever? Because he was taking his time. Like, I am just getting health after health after health. Let's just see if we can run. Come on. Come on, let me in. Activate. No more bullets here. No more bullets here. No more health things. I am, for the most part, succeeding at killing a lot of these characters with just the characters with the main gun. I'm uncertain what's going on here, though. Other than I'm just getting my butt handed to me on normal. It would really suck had somebody played up until this point and they were doing alright, and then they start struggling. Let's see. And yeah, I've lost. I'm tapping A, but it's not going to matter. My health bar is too low, and if your health bar is too low, you're dead. You're going to watch these guys turn you and infect you. I didn't even get a good camera angle on it. So the game has checkpoints, clearly, on top of save points. I kind of would have preferred if they had developed a more consistent system. What does the alternate fire do? What am I trying to do here? Like I can... Oh, no, wait, I gotta telekinesis this off. Shoot. Oh, darn it. That was what I was doing. Let's just open this door. Just get out of here. Get on an elevator. Is that turning off gravity?
Entering vacuum.
Sweet. Now, while I'm entering vacuum space, where am I supposed to be going? Far, far away. I don't know if I was supposed to zoom through that or if I was supposed to slow it down. Doesn't seem like I can slow it down. Oh, seriously? What hit me? Did I just not move fast enough, or? Now probably wouldn't be a terrible point. This is probably somebody else that won a contest to be brutally murdered in this game. Like, that wouldn't be a terrible point to look for collectibles if it weren't for the fact that I'm running out of oxygen. So I've gotta, I guess I have to hurry. In fact, I might need to hurry a considerable amount. Alright, something is shooting at me. Did I get it? No, it doesn't seem like I'm hitting it. And meanwhile, I'm running out of oxygen, so let's just try to avoid getting hit and move forward. And we had like no health packs or anything for any of that.
Keep fighting it, Isaac. You can't fight it. Not letting her go.
I'll never see you.
Isaac, stop it. There's no other way. You have to do this.
So, by letting go of my hallucinations and my love for my girlfriend, who I've been hallucinating, who is part the marker, maybe I can let go of the marker and destroy it too. I got nothing. I really don't appreciate these kind of feelings when you're at the end of a fight and you've just got nothing at all. Okay, we're going to secure storage. Almost certainly, maybe we'll get something really nice. Couple of power nodes, some health, and I was kind of hoping for a schematic. Like something for a New Game Plus feature, but doesn't seem like we're gonna get that lucky. I'm completely out of bullets for one of my guns. I want to wait till I take a hit before I use my health. I'm getting all these power nodes, but unless I'm going to be able to upgrade my health, I'm not even sure what else I need to upgrade. Sure feels like one of the sections I've reached before this point, where you had a store and a workbench would have been the right place. Okay, I have a full health. I feel like I should buy some half health and not buy nodes. And so once again we have to do the ridiculous thing of doing this, put on the vintage suit so that we can get a slight discount. More than even bullets, I think I need health. I think we're in run mode I don't think we're gonna be put into a fight that ends all fights. And it is suspicious that I haven't gotten any pulse rifle bullets. I bought 200 pulse rifle bullets at the store, and it seems like whatever you buy at the store suspiciously might be reduced from what you would actually be allowed to have otherwise. So I can't prove that that's the case. Right. So 1, 2, and 3, and 1 bullet there. And that's kind of all I can do. And then back into the advanced suit so that I have more armor. I have 5 remaining nodes. Since we're so close to the end of the game, I've made the decision that it's not worth my time to hack the save file on this. I thought maybe as a little bit of a fun extra we'd do an episode where we did that and saw what the game would be like from that perspective, starting with basically infinite credits and infinite nodes. But truth of the matter is, it's not going to change much. Even if hacking the game does unlock perhaps some DLC weapons that you can't get because they were console exclusives from the survival DLC, which it very well may do that, it's not really going to change much. It's still going to be one of the standard weapons. I don't think you're going to get anything that does anything amazingly crazy. So I have 5 things where I could increase the charge and the energy used on my stasis. Or I still probably could only get my HP up a little bit more. 2 of my weapons are fully upgraded. Going down and having the line gun wider would be interesting. So we'll take that. The flamethrower, the only thing I have could change would be the alt fire, and I don't have enough nodes for that. So stasis really is where it is at. So less energy, less charge time, and less charge time. And the stasis module, by the way, uses every single node. No choice there. Same would be true if you wanted to upgrade everything on your rig, whereas you can skip some of these nodes for the other weapons. Notice I'm not holding on to a node either. I don't think we need to. Let's see. And
convergence is almost here. Meet me at the marker.
so she's still making you hallucinate and go crazy. It's kind of funny how the hallucinations are both antagonist and protagonist in a weird way. Yeah, I don't really see a reason to not overwrite chapter 14 too. I'm just gonna keep all the save files at the end. Remember, there's no DLC or anything in the... And chapter 15 happens. So I was saying this was a 12 chapter game, and they managed to move it up, certainly, and add some more chapters to it. In a weird way, they're just stretching out the game so it goes longer, however. And this feels a lot like the first part of the game. We don't even really get a good look over there. Man, the stomp just not cutting it these days. Stomp has not really cut it for a long time. I need to just move forward. Just run through all this. Yeah, but you can't do that because then this will happen. And this takes way more health out of you. Just keep running. We're going back and forth. Definitely with a feeling of running in circles. Oh man, you just cannot get past these guys. And I think my health is too low, so I've probably died here. No, I survived. I'm surprised I did. Just get to the chopper. Like, you really can't take on these guys. There's too many of them. And there was an audio log I missed. Forget that. Do I want to save here? That text log saying. To anyone who may find this transmission, there are people, some of my own staff, who say I'm a monster and I brought the situation. This marker is manipulative and it influenced my decision. I understand that what I did for this community, for our species Titan. So this is like a last will and testament. Pause now if you want to read it. There may have been another pickup that I could have gotten over there. Doesn't look like there's any items to pick up. I think we're relatively safe to save again. But this really has just turned into save scumming the game. And this is the best we're gonna get for a final boss fight, when I feel like there should have been a bigger boss fight. Going the wrong direction. Where there's gotta be something somewhere. There it is. Open up. They've been throwing a lot of these circuits at us, which the game hasn't been consistent about that at all. This Tideman shooting me. And he seems like he's half a necromorph and half human. Or he's just really burnt. So, why did I die there? Is it because I missed him? Or is it because my health is just extremely, extremely low? Because I can't really do anything about my health being extremely, extremely low. There's literally nothing here. So unless the game was going to... I'm just going to tap A extremely fast. And then... tap A really, really fast. I got it through the hand this time. But we've already seen ourselves stab ourselves in the eye with a needle. So I guess we needed a cutscene to kill him. And see, I can't hit B, so I'm just gonna shoot him. Again, am I really working for the good guys? Or am I working for the marker?
Thank you, Isaac. Now, time to die.
What?
No duh. No duh. By the way, that scene is like the menu section.
Body need to be reborn. The makers must be absorbed.
The makers? You mean me? But Strauss said we could destroy the marker.
Not if we consume you first.
God damn it, I trusted you.
Why?
Fuck you. And fuck you, marker.
And as far as video game content, so we're getting a lot of kids and not a lot of experience. Like, I don't think we can hit that with that. Like, we can hit her with the fire all we want, but we're gonna have to switch to a different gun. I've got like no bullets. Okay, and that's a brutal way to die. So we do get a boss fight. It's the marker, which was screwing with us this whole time, and I don't know why Isaac... See, you have to really assume that Isaac just is not in his right mind. Because if he was, he would not have ever been on the level of willing to the markers. Let's see, come on. These guys are just overwhelming me. My health is too low. And my bullets are too low. And at the moment, there's kind of nothing you can do to fix that. I can burn her, and then shoot this, and then I can come back here, and I can try and burn her some more, and I can shoot this, but unless the game is going to be very generous. I am not sure. Yeah, I think the game is being very, very generous here to let me win. And it's taking control, so I can't pick up the weapons or the bullets. I'm still in control. And wait a minute, is there a marker in front of me, or am I just looking at a... And I guess my health is supposed to be really low. This cutscene seems like it's not animating as well as some of the previous ones. Bad frame rate. Well, so he's just gonna sit here and let it blow himself up. And that's the where he wants to end it. Isaac Clarke and Nicole, both dead on Titan's moon, the Sprawl. This kind of makes sense for an ending. I wish a lot of the earlier game writing would work better.
Bastard! Was this your great plan? Dump me off and die?
Full of bad ideas, remember?
Yeah, well, here's another one. I'm crashing through the roof to get you. Now move your ass.
Wait, no, Ellie, it's too late. Stay clear of the station.
Yeah, well, you don't really have a say this time. Heads up.
So she's coming to save it. I guess that is the marker. And she's coming to save the day. And am I in control again? Because the game really hasn't had me in control. It's weird that this would be the final thing you do. We've done this 2 other times. And we're escaping with our life. Tap A. And I guess the real joke here would be if what happens if you don't tap A, you still try to kill yourself. Isaac as a character didn't get enough characterization in these first 2 games, so the idea of killing him off at the end of the story would have been alright. You could have had the girl be the next character in the 3rd game. But even in 2011, I bet some of the developers and publishers were afraid to have a female lead. I mean, they still are even in 2018. At the end of the last game, we got a jump scare of our wife, and so at the end of this game, we don't. So no jump scare, or if there's going to be a jump scare, it's in the credits. Looking at the spacing on the credits, you can see there isn't an incredibly large amount of people that worked on this game, which is kind of surprising. It's weird. There was so much upper management interference in Dead Space 3, where this would have been a fine AA, like mid-tier from a AAA developer style game, where they could have just every couple years made another sequel, as long as it isn't one of these games that has to make all the money in the entire universe. I'm sure it would have been fine. But they weren't willing to do that. So Dead Space 3, which is a game I probably will never cover, gets a bunch of microtransaction and gets co-op added to it, and it becomes much more of an action game. Even this game is much more of an action game than the first one. The shift is a lot more subtle, but you're not really getting jump scares. You're not really getting a lot of variety on the horror or the story. Perhaps that is just how all action games have to go. I imagine Resident Evil 1 was very much horrific and became more action-y as we got to Resident Evil 4, 5, 6. By the time they got to 6, it was way too action-y, and they had to go back to being more horror-based in 7. So, yeah, I could see maybe that's a trap that a lot of horror games try to make. Storyline-wise, we've talked a lot about it. It's not great. There are little bits at the end that are great, and for the 15 chapters they told me, I could probably say the entire Ishimura chapter I've already forgotten, and everything before the entire Ishimura chapter I've for the most part forgotten. So in my mind, having just played this game, I think what I did is I woke up in an insane asylum wing of a residential district. I went around the residential district, and then I went into a unitologist area, and then I got back into a residential district, and at that point, I don't know what I did. I want to say I got on the Ishimura after that part, but I know that's not what happened. I know that there was 3 or 4 chapters in between getting back in the residential district and meeting Ellie for the first time, but I don't remember what I did. I was in the CEC, and it was kind of a boring, bland, like, mechanical area. I guess that was what I did. And then that broke down into a bunch of boring, bland, forgettable areas. This game possibly would have been better if it was shorter, because I can't even remember it now. It's just little incidences. The same probably I could say for Dead Space 1. I know on Dead Space 1 I was in the Ishimura. I know at some point I was in the medical bay, at some point I was on the bridge, at some point I was on the in the food section, but that's all I can really remember. You can see that Visceral Australia also worked on this game, so different teams. This game did feel a lot like maybe the Redwood Studios had less input in it than they should have. If Visceral Redwood was the one that made Dead Space 1, I'm not sure. I'm seeing a lot of Chinese names, or Japanese names, Asian names of some sort. That would make a lot more sense, certainly, if this was supposed to be a direct copy of Resident Evil. And if this came out around the time as Resident Evil 6, yeah, there's a lot of parts of Resident Evil 6 that seem very similar to this, or, you know, even Resident Evil 4 or 5, too. Yeah, I'm thinking about Resident Evil 5, not 6. I don't believe Visceral exists anymore. If they do, they've long since changed their name. Electronic Arts is the parent company, the company that interfered with this. I was wondering about which of the several to pick from evil, quote-unquote evil, mega corporations of games. I didn't think this was a Capcom or a Konami game. It could have been a Capcom game, but no, it's an Electronic Arts. And now EA is in such a different spot. What EA promised to release at E3 this year in 2018 was laughably small number of games. Like, it's really just EA Sports games, and that's it. And they definitely want those microtransactions, and they definitely want the money. So, at least 7 years going back, if not a lot longer, EA has been greedy for money and not interested in making a good product. This is probably on the list of games that would have been the last bits of games that had any real good development on them anyways. Now EA's name is in the mud, and would not really want to play an EA game unless you'd at least have to overcome the fact that it is an EA game. Whereas, in comparison, I'd say Ubisoft games, even though their name is also in the mud, they at least are trying to turn things around and admit and improve the quality of their products. I do want to take a moment to say, as far as technical quality, I have to at this point say that this game probably runs fine. This game was locking up and crashing a lot, but it was my Windows 10 April update. I'm 99.9% sure. Ever since I uninstalled that, there has been no lockups, there's been no crashes, there's been no issues of any sort. So take that for what it is, I suppose. Apologies for if anybody got the impression that I was blaming the game when I shouldn't have been. It would have been really weird for this game to be capable to lock up an entire computer and mess up your entire USB ports. Like, that seems really, really weird and unlikely. What else to say? There actually was quite a bit of credits here. I don't know why they took the double line spacing approach. I know a lot of developers are very weird about wanting their credits to actually be seen, but I think in all honesty, people need to take a step back and say, look, if this is just an issue of how long it has to be on the screen, do double columns and show twice as much. Don't do double line spacing, speed this up. It honestly feels like the credits are just playing at this rate so that they could get a second song in here on the credits, which that's never great to have songs on the credits, because those tend to be the one song that get content ID'd on YouTube for because most games don't have noticeable songs that aren't part of the game's soundtrack play throughout the game. And we're just looking at a long list of sub companies that worked on this game. It's very, very weird. There was not really a boss fight. Very weird that they just brought back the same enemy or a very similar enemy to what they had in the first game. The only characters of the three characters that I can recall that were added here, you had the babies that were barely used, you had the children that were used a lot, but maybe could have been used a little bit more, and then you had the headbutting creatures that could only seem to work in a few different areas and only in those areas, and the headbutters were overused. There still feels like there should be some kind of grenade option for every gun, instead of some guns having an alternate fire that is kind of like a grenade. It definitely feels like there needed to be some systems and some backups to make the game easier, whether it was just after you die it gives you a little bit more health than what you had before, or a little bit more bullets, because I was getting very close to a point where I potentially would have just rage quit at the final boss with the marker, just because I did not have bullets and couldn't take it out. You are in a very weird position with the DLC too, because the DLC would have been helpful in that final boss, but it would have been a waste and disappointment for most of the early game. And finally we're getting the credits. There really is not a lot to say about this game. It's mediocre. It's alright. It's a 5 out of 10 if you would scale on a realistic 5 out of 10 scale. It's a game worth playing once, I would say. A game that maybe you'd want to play New Game Plus twice.
Control, we have completed the flyby. There's nothing left. I repeat, Titan Station has been completely destroyed.
And the marker?
Negative. Nothing survived this, sir. Marker Site 12 is a total loss.
Pity. Recall all flights and return to base. The other sites will have to pick up the pieces.
So there's like 11 other markers. You must save your game to unlock New Game Plus mode. Okay. And so we just save over this part. Prototype suit unlocked. Elite suit versions and security suit variants unlocked in New Game Plus. Look for new items in the store and for schematics lost in the Sprawl to get access to this experimental technology. Hardcore mode. You've unlocked hardcore mode in which you will find the bare minimum of health and ammo to stay alive. When you die, you restart from your last save. You can only save 3 times. I would never want to play that. New Game Plus. You've unlocked a New Game Plus mode. Suits and weapons from your prior playthrough will be available in the first store, which the first store would be quite a ways away. And now the background menu has the marker on it. Yeah. So I suppose what you would say is that this game is a 7 out of 7.5 by most people's ratings, because that's how it breaks down. If you would say it's a 5, there's kind of nothing more to say here. I don't see a reason why I'd want to play this game again, probably ever. I've played it twice now. Unlike Resident Evil 4 in its final edition, where if you play it over and over again, you unlock more and more things and different gameplay styles and different gameplay modes. This is just going to be the same game with slightly better weapons and slightly better suits. And even in this iteration, EA was getting greedy. They were trying to get you to buy DLC and or pre-order the game so you get those extra suits. And they don't really matter. They don't really change anything. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. Dead Space 3 is on EA Origin, which is its own issue of just how EA doesn't want to pay a 30% distribution fee to sell its games. So they have taken a significant number of the more niche games that they have made that would have been on Steam or very possibly were on Steam, and only put it on their own competitor site, EA Origin. In fact, several companies have done that, and sometimes when you're buying a game on Steam, you are just launching it through the other company's service. So if I was to play Dead Space 3, I'd have to do it through Origin. I don't really feel like doing that. I don't really feel like the story gets improved any by playing the third game. You might as well just have it end here, and then maybe there's some comic books. There's 2 movies that might be worth watching. Actually, I think I've watched them and they're not really worth watching. Also, speaking of movies that probably aren't worth watching, is we never looked at this movie recap because it was kind of a spoiler. I don't see a real reason to do that. I would say go find that save file hack and use it if you've played this game on console before and you don't want just that first new player experience again. It probably isn't going to change too much for you to be able to upgrade everything really early and save yourself a little frustration, because I definitely was running into some frustrating parts near the end of the game, and it really wouldn't have felt much different had I just had a little bit more health and a little bit more bullets. Maybe if you're just going to play the game to start with, maybe you should just play it on easy too. But yeah, I don't have anything else to criticize or say, so that's going to be it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos, because doing all of those different things will tell YouTube that my videos are worth watching. When you subscribe, click the notification bell to get notifications. Maybe, sometimes, hopefully. YouTube really doesn't guarantee it. If you want to friend or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, all of those links are down below in the description box. And if you want to support my channel, which it definitely could use people's support, there are two ways. You could one-time friend me on Steam and gift me a game, either a game you'd like to see me cover, or a game off my wishlist. Or you could pick a gift card and gift me the gift card, and then I could pick the games myself. Or you could support me through my monthly Patreon donations. As little as $1 a month would be very much appreciated. Just a little tip in the tip jar to say, hey, I appreciate the content you make and I appreciate the effort you go through. That's it for this series. If you want to see another series on several other games, I would say we're probably approaching 70 to 100 games that I've covered on my channel. Check out my playlist tab on my YouTube page. I have a playlist for every game I've ever covered. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.